Sab sukh lahe tumhari charana. At the feet of Bhagwan, we will find the greatest amount of happiness. We will have so much happiness that we will get giddy. We will not know what to do with ourselves. For we will not have any grief. We will not have any sorrow. We will only just have all the beautiful things of life, of this world at the feet of Bhagwan. And so let us always strive to dedicate ourselves, our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our Atma to the feet of Bhagwan. For that it will be so much more productive than anything else. Hari Om, Jaya Jaya Shiva Om, Jaya Jaya Hari Om, Jaya Jaya Shiva Om, Jaya Jaya Hari Om, Jaya Jaya Shiva Om, Jaya Jaya निकट कालु देहि आवत साई तेहि ब्रह्म होय तुम्हारी नाई तेहि ब्रह्म होय तुम्हारी नाई श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 Allowing yourself to be consumed by ignorance, my dear husband, it will not do any good. Ignorance will never do any good for you. Ignorance will not uplift you. Ignorance will not allow you to progress, whether it's materially or spiritually. Ignorance will destroy you. And this destruction seems like it is eminent for you, my dear husband. And he says this ignorance, it robs a man of piety. It reduces that man's strength and his reasoning and his better judgment. Ignorance is never productive. It is never productive. She repeats again and again, trying to convince her husband that don't allow yourself and your kingdom to be doomed. You have still an opportunity to correct. But you know, devotees, when we are bent in our destructive ways, it is hard to make that U-turn to correct. And she says in this doha, Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram, Bolo. इन्हीं के कारण आपके मन में ज्ञान उत्पन्न नहीं होता. There is no knowledge in your mind. Rather, there is arrogance, there is pride, there is all the opposite of wisdom. There is all sorts of negative qualities in the realm of knowledge of wisdom in your mind. And so it has become counterproductive. It doesn't serve you well. Oh my dear husband, for you have doomed yourself and you have doomed your kingdom. You have doomed your subjects. You have doomed all the good things that you have done. You are now doomed, my dear husband. Could you imagine having your wife tell you that, or your husband, that all the efforts that you have put forth, it will become counterproductive, it will become destructive. And sometimes some reality checks need to be placed. And who's the best person is the one who loves you the most, to give you that reality check, to let you know that what you're doing is not right. We'll hear the next Chopai.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Kalu dand gahi, kahu na mara. Kalu dand gahi, kahu. One more shot, one more try, one more opportunity to prevent war, my dear friends. And so it is better that you make peace than do what? To fight, But some of us, it is in our nature to do what? To fight. We can't be tranquil and we can't be peaceful. We gotta fight all the time. And so I told one of my DDs, I said, it seems like the best way I can penetrate you is to do what? To fight with you. And so she looks at me and said, to fight with me? I said, yes, I'm going to always fight with you. That means I'm always going to trouble you. I'm always going to give you a hard time. I'm going to be this stubborn little brother that always nags at you. Because when I do that, it seems like our relationship grows and becomes more wonderful. And so every time, out of nothing, I would pick a fight with her. Maybe these guys do the same thing here. And so I would pick a fight with her, always with great respect, but with great love as well. And pick the fight. And at the end of the day, what happens? My Didi would give up. My Didi would give up. She will hold her ground, but she would have to relent a little bit because that is the relationship. And so Bhagwan said, I would rather stop this war. I do not want to get engaged in any more of warfare. And so Bhagwan sends Angad. Who is this Angad, this great warrior? It is the son of Raja Bali, the nephew of Raja Sugriv. And so he was the emissary. And so all kinds of conversations had in the chambers of Ravan. And Ravan, he made fun of Angad being a monkey. Could you imagine that? This great warrior, Angad, the son of Bali. Could you imagine? But it has happened. And so, you want to test my strength? I will place this one foot here. And if any one of you move my foot even for 1 inch, what will I do? I will declare that Ravan has become victorious over Shri Ram. We will all, Bhagwan Shri Ram, and all of us will bow to you, and you will become victorious if you're able to move my foot 1 inch. You think that's possible? This monkey that you were making so much fun of? That is why we've got to have reverence for all of God's creation. Whether it is a cat, whether it's a dog, whether it's a rabbit, whether it's a bear, whether it's an elephant, whether it's man, whether it's a bird, all that has life is a manifestation of whom our Bhagwan. And so all the warriors tried to move the foot of Angad, but they could not move at all. It stood firm. It stood firm. Why did it stay in that spot? Because all throughout that time where they tried to move his foot, Angad clasped his hands, he closed his eyes, and his focus was where? His focus was at the feet of Prabhu, at the feet of Bhagwan Shri Ram. And so they could not move his foot because of this devotee's steadfastness in his devotion, in his love for his Prabhu. And so Meghnad, the son, the mighty warrior, the son of Ravan, he came and he tried, but he could not budge. He could not move the foot of Angad. And so when all of them have failed, who got up? Ravan himself. the mighty 10-headed Ravan, he got off his throne and he's making his way. He's making his way. Remember when Raja Janak was having his Swayamvar and the proclamation was that whoever picks up this Dhanush, this bow of Bhagwan Shiva, and is able to string it, that individual will win the hands of Sita in marriage. And who was there? All the great warriors, the great kings and the princes and all that. But no one is able to make that bow budge, move from where it was, much less pick it up and string it. Ravan was present and Ravan tried, but Ravan failed. And because Ravan failed, Sita Ma, who was perched upon the balcony, she laughed at him. She laughed at him. That is why it's not good to laugh, because what happened? He seized the moment to take revenge. And what did he do? He captured her and held her prisoner. Why? Because she laughed at him. She laughed at him. And so Ravan made his way to where Angad was, and he was going to do what? He was going to move the foot of Angad. And as he was making his way, Angad looked at him, and Angad, he made this statement, "Oh Ravan, you are such a great fool. You are such a great fool. Why would you come and touch my feet? Why would you come and grasp my foot? Why would you come my way? It is the feet of Bhagwan Shri Ram that you should go and surrender to. Do not come. Do not come. Who am I in comparison to Bhagwan?" And so when Ravan heard that, his heart was abashed, my dear friends, and he felt as though he was just embarrassed in front of his ministers and his warriors. He was made into like the size of an ant, like a grain of sand. He lost his glory and his splendor. His ego came to a crashing fall upon the ground. He felt so destroyed. He felt so humiliated, and he turned around and he went back to his throne in total embarrassment. Total embarrassment. And what happened? Angad went on his way to the feet of Bhagwan. In the Mundak Upanishad, devotees, it is said, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tasmai Sahovacha Devidye Veditavye Itihasma Yad Brahma Vidu Vadanti Parachay Vaparacha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And so in this narration in the Mundak Upanishad, it is said that there are two kinds of knowledge. Two kinds of knowledge. What kind of knowledges we have? There are two of them. What are they? The first one is para and apara. Para and apara. So you're going to remember this? Two kinds of knowledge. Para and apara. And one para is the higher realm of knowledge, and apara, it's the lower, it's the base. So two kinds of knowledge, two different categorization. And so what are these knowledge? And the first one, para, is the pursuit. The pursuit of this knowledge is the realization of Brahman, of Almighty God. And so this individual who pursues knowledge called para, he spends all his time, his effort to do what? To know who God is. And so when we pursue this path of devotion, when we have this goal of Almighty God, oneness and realization, what should we do? We should at least get to know. Whenever you're forming a relationship with anyone, you should get to know that individual. You should get to know their likes and dislikes. You should get to know how they operate, their personality, their attitude. You should get to know the things that makes them happy and the things that don't make them happy. And so for a spiritual minded individual who follows this knowledge called para, it is the higher of knowledge, the highest of pursuit, because it is the avenue, the method for that individual to realize Almighty God. And so, as I said earlier, nothing else matters but the only reality. And so those who are spiritually minded, the only thing that matters to them is Almighty God. And so for them to formulate a relationship with their Bhagwan, they've got to know Him. And so how do you know about God? You do what you have done today. You go to satsang and you hear about His glories. How do you know about God? You get the Bhagavad Gita, you get the Ramcharitmanas, you get the Bhagavad Purana. There's so many scriptures in Hinduism, the Vedas, the Upanishads, and you read about Bhagwan. That is how you get to know about Almighty God. And the second one is apara. Apara means that individual who is just concerned about the fruits, my dear friends, of earthly existence. That individual who pursues academia, not of spirituality, but of materialism, how they can become victorious, how they can become triumphant, how they can be successful in the earthly journey. The earthly journey. That is what they are mindful in this wisdom called apara. So we're going to remember the pursuit of knowledge of whom God is called para, and the pursuit of materialistic progression or the knowledge of everyday life, that is called apara. Apara. And so the Upanishads continue. The Mundak Upanishad continues. Avidyaya mantare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha janganyamanaha pariyanti mudha ande naiva niyamana yatandhaha om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. And because the individual is in pursuit of materialism, in pursuit of that which is not reality, is caught up in the fiction of everyday life, what happens? They go in circles. They go in circles. They become misguided. They go astray and they become lost. Why? Because they fancy the things that are not real. They fancy the trickery of the great magician of Almighty God. The pursuit of materialism causes all sorts of confusion, all sorts of pain, all sorts of struggles, and so their life is non-ending in a cyclical manner of mass confusion. And because of this confusion, they are miserable, they are not happy. And so it is said that these individuals, because they are consumed in ignorance, in pursuit of that which is not real, they suffer and they are miserable, they are unhappy. That is the apara. And now we look at the distinction that is made as to what happens to those who are spiritually minded. Tapaha shraddheye yapava santyaranye shanda vidvansu bhaiksha charya charantah suryadarena te virajaha prayanti yatra mritah sa purusho hyayatma om namo bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And so that individual who pursues Bhagwan, who pursues the reality of Almighty God, what do? They practice penance. And they do all that they need to do do what? To increase their faith in Almighty God. And so they increase their love for Bhagwan, and they do all the things according to scriptural injunctions. They follow the commandments of Almighty God. They follow the teachings of the saints and sages, of the great Guru. Having celebrated Guru Purnima on Friday night, devotees, they follow the teachings of their Guru. Why? Because they want their hearts to be filled with love for Bhagwan. Because they want their mind to be filled with Almighty God and His teachings and His wisdom and His divine word. All that matters to them is what? Is Almighty God. And so what happened too often, they find themselves, as we have listened to the Katha of Bhagwan, they do what? They find that there is too much noise. There is too much noise in the city. There is too much noise pollution. There is too much holler. There is too much horns beeping. There's too much people talking. There's just noise. The stereos blasting. There's too much noise. And so for that aspirant, the striver who loves Bhagwan, what do? They abandon the worldly life of the city and they go into the forest. Have we not heard on so many occasions of individuals leaving their homes in the city, in the towns, and then traveling to the forest? Why do they go to the forest? Because it is quiet and it is peaceful and they can remain focused. The whole thought of the aspirant is, I want to focus. I don't want to go straight. I don't want to go hither, thither. I just want to be in one unidirection, and that direction must be at the feet of Almighty God. That is what's most important. And so they go to the forest because they don't want to be distracted, and they don't want to have their senses be glued to the things that are superficial. They don't want that. And they want to surround themselves with learned individuals. They want to go to ashrams and they want to hear more about Bhagwan. And these individuals, they place all their efforts, all their wisdom to do what? To keep from committing sins, from doing wrong things. For all that matters is Bhagwan. And so they will do all that is beautiful, all that is wonderful. They will dedicate their energies, their efforts, their everything to whom? To Almighty God. For He is most important to them. And devotees, this is the message that Mandodari say, oh my dear husband, oh my dear Prabhu, you are a Vidwan, you are a Pandit, you are a scholar, you are a learned individual, but yet you act. She spoke to him in the most beautiful words. Devotees, she finessed his ego at the greatest height. But what happened? Ignorance has clouded the mind of Ravan, and all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all of academia, all the scriptural learning, all of that has escaped. Ravan, this is not an ordinary individual. You have to go to the feet of Bhagwan. Chaupai.
Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama.
Kanda Krita Ram Virosha काल विवश सब संतों की जय जय सीताराम सीताराम सीताराम।